organization that's located here in Palm Springs, but we also serve San Bernardino, Inland Empire, as well as Los Angeles and the High Desert. So today I have some friends with me, and we're going to talk about bullying, we're going to talk about social media, we are going to talk about what you kids want to know.
Hi guys, my name is Elaine, and I'm a blogger based out of Los Angeles. Hi! My blogging name is Fashion Lane. So just to start, I'll give you a little bit about myself. So, as you guys probably have heard of Coachella, do you guys know the music festival that's here every year in Palm Springs? Okay, so I'm going to start off with the story about how this all came to be, that why we're here today. I went to Coachella a year ago for the music festival as a blogger, had all these people giving me the tickets to the show, dressing me for the concert, and it was the best weekend ever. Except on the last day, I got really sick and I had a really big fever, and I missed my performer that I was waiting all year to see. And so as I get to the festival, all I'm thinking about is I need to post a photo on Instagram of me by the Ferris wheel, because everyone at Coachella posts this photo by the Ferris wheel. But I'm in a bad mood because I missed my favorite performer. I'm sick, and all I'm doing is rushing to the festival because the sun is about to go down and it's gonna get too dark for me to take this photo. We get there, and I get my friend to take this photo of me, and it was the most perfect photo you've ever seen. I'm smiling, I'm happy, but in reality, I wasn't happy at all. But you would never know that from this photo that I posted. And so what happened after that moment is I came home, and I wanted to make a change because I post photos on my Instagram all the time of the most perfect days that I ever had, when in reality, I don't have such perfect days. And so I posted this photo telling my followers and my friends about the whole story about how I was sick, I missed my performer, but you wouldn't know that from this photo. And so from there, I created the Woke Up This Way challenge, which if you guys had ever seen it on Instagram, it started in June. And I asked people to post a photo of what they look like when they wake up in the morning without their hair and makeup done. So for girls, that meant no eyeliner, which I love, and it was very hard for me to post this photo. And this is some of the people that participated. We had all these celebrities from Glee and Pitch Perfect do it. We had students to high school teachers, and everyone, Dimitri is up there who did it. And so from there, I just saw this need to really share with you guys and students around the world and people around the world that to embrace who you are, despite the struggles that you're going through, despite makeup and hair, despite bullying, that you can get and be whoever you want to be. And so we're doing this B2B, Boo2Bullying BU tour, and I have all these panelists up here who have gone through their own struggles and have amazing professions and jobs, and 2 girls from your school and high school around here who are going to talk to you about their experiences, and I just hope you guys hear and take away about embracing who you are and not letting people affect you guys. And so I'm going to give a quick little bio about each of our amazing people up here. Give me 1 second to pull up my phone. Okay. So, Lily, I have Lily over here. Hello. She is the founder and executive producer of the social advocacy group Matriarchy, where she aims to bring people of different backgrounds and experiences together to unite for the purpose of one common goal: equality. Popularly known as DJ Matriarchy, Lily creates safe spaces and gatherings for the LGBTQ people to connect through her music and events, including Outfest and Medina. In addition, she's an entertainment reporter who has interviewed celebrities on red carpets for BuzzFeed, YouTube Space, and she also writes for the publication AfterEllen.com. So that is Lily for you guys. Hello, everybody. We have Suzi down there, who is an on-camera personality, stylist, journalist, and sorry, I can't read. Okay. She's a host covering sports to fashion. Her father grew up as a famous coach, and that's where she got her love of sports from, and she was one of the most famous coaches in the NBA. After college, she worked for an agency where she got a glimpse into the world of shoe companies, and she realized her love for sneakers from then. After this agency, she spent almost 10 years in the world of styling, both on and off camera, with major companies from Samsung and Target. She realized from there that she loved working with athletes on camera and talking about streetwear and kicks and sports, and so she became one of the only females right now that has had the chance to interview both on-camera broadcasters and NBA athletes on their fashion. So that's Suzi. my girl Diana, and she's an entertainment host, content creator, and podcaster, if you guys listen to podcasts. She's originally from Geneva, Switzerland. You guys know where that is. I did before I met her. Her natural ability as an entertainer began to take shape when she started piano lessons at the age of 2. Later, she started taking music more seriously, and she realized that Switzerland was not the best environment to continue doing those skills. So her pursuit of singing took off when she eventually went, do you guys watch The Voice here in LA? She was on The Voice in France, which is one of the biggest voices, and she later went to New York to continue her music career there. Diana found that music was beginning to limit her ability to express herself, so she later on left New York to come to LA, where she explored new platforms to showcase her talent and perspective, and she soon found that she loved working as an entertainment host and reporter, so she was still on camera, and eventually went there to become a content creator, and she talks about her difficulties growing up in Switzerland, and she's used her failure as an opportunity to grow and to be who she is today. So those are amazing panelists. And then Solange and Mia, who are our brand ambassadors. Solange goes to your school and Mia goes to the high school near you. So we're going to start off with a few questions so you guys can get to know a little bit more about their experiences. So tell us a little bit about who you guys were in middle school and high school. Were you involved in any clubs, any sports, so people kind of get a sense of your younger selves?
Who was I? Well, I would like to start out with that I am mixed race. I am Puerto Rican and Vietnamese. My mother is a Vietnamese immigrant. I'm going to deviate just ever so slightly. Raise your hand if you have a parent who is not white. That's like almost everyone here, right? Raise your hand if both of your parents are white. Okay.
There's nothing wrong with either.
No, there's nothing wrong with either. Okay, so raise your hand if you've been made fun of because of your skin color. Raise your hand if you've been made fun of because of your hair. Raise your hand if you have become friends with somebody who's different than you because you have the same hobby or you like the same song. Nice. I talked to the principal a few seconds ago and he told me that sometimes we make fun of each other because we're different. Now, isn't it a shame that we're losing all these friends because we're focusing on what's different when we could be focusing on these things we like, these hobbies we like, these things we have in common? So I'm not sure who's what and who's saying who to anyone, but I just want to point out that I understand the experience because I was all those things. I got made fun of for my hair, for my skin color, but people became friends with me because they realized they like the same hobbies as me. So if you feel like you want to make fun of someone because they might seem different, maybe instead ask them what their favorite song is or what sport they like. So in middle school I was mixed race. I'm also gay on top of that. So that just added to everything else. And I've always been creative and I've always worn what I wanted, which also made me a target for bullying. And I haven't changed. And I'm happy with who I am.
Hi guys, thanks so much for having us here today. My middle school and high school experience was not totally pleasant. I was lucky enough to grow up in sports, and so one thing that I learned from a really young age is to never judge anybody by their background, where they came from. We grew up with a house full of athletes every weekend at our house. My mom would have them over, whether they were black, white, gay, straight. So my father always instilled in us that you never look at somebody and judge them from where they come from or who they are. High school was hard for me. I put a lot of pressure on myself as a female and suffered from a very bad eating disorder. And I think that that's something to be said as I get older, because I know a lot of girls at a young age start having problems with the way that they look and the way they feel. And with social media right now, I see it even harder with the body shaming and everything that goes on. So that was kind of a little bit about my background in high school, and thankfully I was able to get over that hump in college and become the woman I am today. But everything kind of was molded through high school. It's not hard, and middle school is definitely not easy.
So I did not say that in the previous video.
know, but in high school, middle school, I had friends, was friends with loads of people. I did not belong to a specific group of friends because I just wanted to pick and choose my own because I don't want to be imposed friends. And I was a person who developed later on in life. So my whole entire teen years, I looked about 4 or 5 years younger than my actual age. So whilst all the girls looked super feminine and super pretty, and everyone, was starting to get interested in all the girls, I just looked like a kid. So I was made fun of a lot because of that. And I was always passionate about music and singing, but I never took part in any groups. I didn't take part in any school activities. I didn't really take part in talent shows or anything like that because I was a bit insecure and I was always seen as, the cute little person that's just there, but I'm not really taken seriously. So I had friends, it was fun, but I definitely did not feel like I truly belonged somewhere. So that was my experience in high school.
Thank you.
So we're going to take this to Solange and Mia to start it off. Tell us about your bullying experiences and how you dealt with it, if anyone helped you through that time.
Okay, so my name is Solange. I'm 13 years old. I'm in 8th grade and I attend this school for those of you who do or do not know me. I was bullied in elementary school for my looks, for my hair, for my skin color, pretty much for everything. And I learned to let it go and not worry so much about it, which I wish I would have. The main person I felt like I could talk to about my bullying experience was my mom, which a lot of you guys feel that they don't have close relationships with their mom. I could talk to my mom about things like that, but not my friends. And I didn't really think much of it, but I realized that to stay quiet isn't gonna do anything. So I decided to speak up and say something about it because you being quiet is gonna let the bully wanna bully you more, because if you were to bully me and I didn't say anything, you would think it's okay to bully me because I'm not saying anything. And I think that's why a lot of people bully, because they feel like if the person that gets bullied doesn't say anything, then they can bully and won't get in trouble for it. So if you guys see bullying around campus or any bullying pretty much anywhere, especially cyberbullying, I suggest you guys say something about it. If you have a friend that's going through something, like we had said, someone up here had said in our last class that you don't know what someone else is going through. So she could be going through something right now and she has a pretty face on, she's smiling, but in the inside you don't know how she's feeling. So it doesn't hurt to go up to them and say how are you, want to be friends, want to hang out at lunch, oh, I like your hair. You don't know how much that can help somebody feel about themselves. So just like they said, just be kind to one another, because you don't know how much that helps someone.
Hey guys, my name is Mia Velarde. In 9th grade, I go to Raymond High School. And I was bullied in middle school because of my personality and because I was always staring at girls. And there was a group of girls ganged up on me and started calling me names and stuff, and names cussing at me and stuff. So I didn't really care. At that moment, I was just thinking about wow, these girls are really trying to get at me. And I was just thinking about, imagine all those people who couldn't handle that. The people who can't go to school and just sit there and just think about oh wow, these people don't like me, and how many thoughts that go through their head. So I spoke out about my situations, and Boo2Bullying reached out to me through social media, and I became an ambassador to it. And then I went to a photo shoot and I became a little viral for bullying. And I just want to say to you guys that it takes courage to stand up, and I know it's impossible to stand up sometimes to bullying, but it really helps. But it also takes courage to listen to other people, to listen to why they were bullied, why they're bullying you, because they were bullied probably because they're bullying you. But just listen to people. Just speak out, listen, and make sure you tell people that they're okay, and make sure that they are okay. Because people, like she said, can put on a pretty face, and you don't know how they're feeling. Because you're not in their brain, you don't know their thoughts.
Thank you. And I want Suzi, Diana, and Lily to answer this question too. Tell us a little about your bullying experience, or if you had any, I don't know, people made you feel left out and how you dealt with it.
When I was growing up, things were changing a lot actually in our climate for different ethnicities and different sexualities. And so at a younger age, I experienced racism. And as I got older, that diminished a little bit more. But then I would experience homophobia. So those are things that I experienced when I was in school, and the best way that I coped with that personally was I took the confidence I felt about expressing myself creatively, and I used that for being happy with who I am, with being Puerto Rican and Vietnamese, with being a lesbian. And by doing that and making myself uncomfortable by being open and proud of it, I helped other students at the school feel happy and comfortable with themselves. Because it's not going to be easy to find happiness within yourself, but by doing that, you take away the power from everybody else, including all the bullies, to take your happiness away, because no one can take it away from you. You're the only one in control of your own happiness.
In high school, I unfortunately, like I had said, was going through my own interpersonal struggles of striving to be perfect, but on the other hand of it all, I had a decent experience with all of the kids in my own school. I've always been taught, like I said before, to treat everyone as how you would want to be treated. So I would go around, and I was on the student council, and I would go up to kids that I knew had no friends, and just simply, like you were talking about in the last panel, commenting on their hair or their shoes or asking someone how their day is. A simple smile at someone or even opening the door for somebody can make an impact on their day. So again, we never know what anyone's going through. So it's just important to befriend somebody that you know is going through something, because you can always tell when someone's having a rough day.
The question is, what kind of bullying experiences did you have? Bullying experiences did you have?
Yeah. So I had a couple, unfortunately. I had a social bullying experience when I was in university, so mine was a bit later on in life. I was kind of the new foreign girl in a university where everyone knew each other, and groups were already made from a very young age, and I kind of stepped into that situation as like a newcomer. I got involved in groups of mean girls and getting my boyfriend stolen from me, which wasn't that great, if that's happened to you, I'm really sorry. What?
Oh, no, they didn't.
Yeah, seriously. But look at me now, I don't care anymore. So that wasn't great, but I also experienced social media bullying, which I'm sure you guys, do you guys feel like you've been social media bullied at some point? Anyone? Am I the only one? Am I the only one?
Raise your hand if you've been bullied on social media.
Raise your hand, we're not judgmental. Okay. So that happened to me because, it's fine if you have, and it's fine if you're afraid to say so. I was bullied on social media because I was scouted to be on a TV show, and a group of people that didn't like me very much, or I don't know, maybe were upset that I could take my talent and go on TV, decided to troll one of my YouTube videos and go and told all their friends to go and leave some very, very nasty comments. And it sounds like nothing when you say it that way, like, oh my gosh, people were so mean to me, la la la. But have you ever heard a mean comment about yourself, calling you, I'm not even going to say the words because I'm not allowed because this is a school, but I've been told some nasty things. I had hundreds of these. So, you really take these comments home and you start to believe those things about yourself. So that's what I experienced. It wasn't great. I wish that on nobody. Yeah. Woo!
so to go off of that, so the point of bullying, right? Like, you feel like you can't be yourself because people make you feel bad about a certain aspect of who you are. And so with that, I mean, for me, it was trying to find out who I wanted to be with a job and a career. And I know you guys are in the 7th and 8th grade, so it's gonna be a little while until you have jobs. But how do you find out what you like and what you want to be? I loved celebrities and I loved Hollywood and I wanted to do something with that. But everyone in my family was a doctor or a lawyer, so I felt out of place and that I didn't belong within my family to do something that I liked. So I wanted to ask these amazing girls here, and now I'm a blogger and my job is Instagram, by the way, so that wasn't even around when I was younger. So we have a DJ, we have a stylist, we have a singer and an entertainment journalist. So I wanted to ask you guys, how did you discover what you like, who you wanted to be, and did anything from your past and when you were younger help inspire that?
I've always been creative, and like I said, I've been bullied for being openly expressive about my creativity. One of the things that happened because I was in the closet for a while, even though I was gay. When I finally did come out of the closet, I actually didn't know where to find other lesbians and people in the LGBT community. At the time I was producing events and I was doing performance, so I decided to throw an event for the LGBT community, and I brought them to me. We did not have a budget for talent, so I taught myself how to DJ, and then I became a DJ. I also worked in the news previously, and after I came out of the closet, I was openly gay, and I was hired by After Ellen, which is a lesbian publication in the news. So being myself actually helped me get jobs. I will definitely say that. So if you be yourself, you may end up exactly where you want to be, but no one will know that's who you want to be unless you're open about it. Woo!
I am in my 30s and I still don't really know what I'm doing with myself, so it's okay, you guys do not have a clue at all. I think my career kind of took its own path, knowing that I loved sports so much and worked in sports, and then jumped into fashion. And there aren't a lot of females out there that are merging the two. And so a couple of years ago, I kind of dipped out of wardrobe styling and went out on my own and just started the hustling of trying to get into broadcasting and on camera interviewing athletes. And I still don't know what the heck I'm doing half the time I'm on camera, but I think what's great about it is that you can start out with one passion in life and jump into something else, combine them, you can quit, you can go back to school. So don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't be anything you don't want to be. I had 3 or 4 people a couple of years ago tell me that I was too old to be on camera, and you know what? I defeated them, and I'm doing what I want to do, so go and seek out whatever makes you guys happy.
So what made me do the job that I do today, which is basically go on red carpets and interview all my favorite celebrities from like Netflix shows and TV shows and singers. The one thing that made me do this career is failure. So I know that to you guys, failure can be like an embarrassing thing. You don't want to show that you failed. Failing is something to be made fun of, but for me, it really helped me land my dream job. So I started off as a singer, and you know, I did decide to walk away from it, but you know, I went on The Voice and I didn't win The Voice. So a lot of people saw it as like, yeah, you were on The Voice. No, to me that was failure. And then I ended up doing videos on YouTube of me singing, and no one was really watching them, which is, you know, it's so like intimidating when people are like, how many views did you get? And you're like, well, I don't know, like a couple. It's embarrassing. So, I mean, it might seem embarrassing, but then I was like, okay, fine, I'm just gonna start talking to people on YouTube. And someone messaged me and said, do you want to go interview people because you speak well? And I said, yeah. And my first ever red carpet that I did was the Teen Choice Awards. So sent me there, just had to start doing the job. And so today I have a really fun career. I love my life every single day. And I got to that point because I failed at something else. So yeah.
All right, the next question, and we'll start with Solange and Mia for this. What would you give yourself advice, when you're dealing with bullying, and for the other girls, like your younger self, what advice would you give? For me, I wish I stressed out so much. I would cry every day to my family and friends about not knowing who I was, and I felt like I liked to wear these kinds of outfits and do these kinds of cool photos, but I felt so different from everyone else that I felt that it was wrong. And so I went through a lot of struggles to be able to embrace who I was, and I love rainbows and colors on my Instagram, and that wasn't normal at the time. People thought that was weird. And so I wish someone told me that it's okay to be you, and that you can be whoever you want to be, and you should be proud of it. And that is like what Lily said, going to take you to where you're supposed to be. So that's advice I wish someone had given me, or I would give my younger self. So, Solange and Mia, let's start with you guys. What advice would you give maybe yourself when you were dealing with the bullying when a little younger?
I would give myself advice and you guys advice that be yourself, express yourself, because you are important, you matter, you are whoever you are. Be you, do whatever you want, be the best at what you can do. It doesn't matter if you're the best doctor in the world, or it doesn't matter if you're the best photographer, or best whatever. It's as long as you're happy, as long as you're doing what makes you happy, it's okay. And it doesn't matter if some people agree, some people don't. And you won't make everybody happy. Nobody's gonna be happy for you. You just gotta be happy for yourself.
Well, I would say to everyone and myself is to be kind to one another, make people feel welcomed, because like we had said earlier, you don't know what they're going through. I would say, like, even if you don't even know the person, like, just be kind, because like they had said, doing one little thing makes a big difference. And I would say if you see something, say something, because being quiet isn't going to do anything about it. So I would just say be kind to one another and make sure you guys are nice, because that makes a big impact on other people.
Thank you. Your answer? If I could talk to myself from when I was in middle school, I would like to acknowledge that not everyone has a safe home environment or social environment or even school. Not that this is an unsafe school, but depending on who you're in class with, sometimes you can't always be yourself in every context. I do want to say there's always a safe place, usually, where you can be yourself, and to find that place. I don't know if you've heard the phrase, find your tribe, but as someone who grew up LGBT, if I had known there were LGBT resources out there or other LGBT people I could go and hang out with and talk to and find my tribe, I would have been a lot happier. And so I want to say that whether you're obsessed with science, or you're just super into basketball, or you love bugs, or you just can't stop playing violin, or you're gay, or you're pansexual, you're bisexual, or say that you speak Russian and you can't find someone else who speaks Russian. If you can safely be open about it, do it. Be open about it and try to find your tribe. If it's not safe for you to be open about it, we have Google now, and that's a beautiful, amazing thing. So find a safe place where you can be yourself and express yourself.
Thank you. Suzi, Diana, do you guys have any last words to add to that?
I would just say to my former self not to put so much pressure on myself to strive to be perfect. We are all going to make mistakes. We're all going to fail at something, and we're not perfect, but as long as you're happy with yourself every day, I think that's one of the reasons I'm able to do what I do now, is because I don't compare myself to other girls, or men for that matter, on Instagram and social media. I try to stay true to who I am and know that, you know what, like, life is hard. It's not easy. Everybody is struggling, but just don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Thank you.
I would tell my younger self to face the problem and not just take it home. And I know it sounds like it's easier said than done. But if you say something, I'm not saying go to your teacher and go tell on someone, but even just telling that person, like, that was hurtful. But if you say it in a way that you're not afraid of them, people will like resonate, like it will resonate with people more than you think. You know, if she says something mean to me and I go, oh, well, don't say that, she's gonna want to do it more because she knows that it's affected me. But if you say something to me and I just say, well, that was rude, she's not gonna want to say anything else. It really does work. But what I would also say is that, and I've spoken about this before, it really does make a difference when you just do little things around you to make people feel included. And I'm not saying be friends with everyone, because I don't want to be friends with everyone. Like, not everyone is my kind of person. I don't need to force myself to be nice to everyone. But even if someone you may think isn't your kind of person, just go up to them and say, hey, like, I like your shoes, or did you do something to your hair? No, I didn't. Oh, okay, well, it looks cool, or whatever. You don't know what these people are going through, and just acknowledging them makes such a big difference. And if I had known that in school, I think I would have connected with so many more people that I didn't know would like be interested in being my friend.
Thank you, everyone. I know you guys have so much questions, but this is a really great conversation to take on to your next class. Please take your bands. These are our unity wristbands. We are united, and we stand up for bullying.